Hello everyone and welcome back to another homework video. This is for the week starting the 7th of June 2021. And with me this week we have the lovely Laura from No New Starts.
Hello everyone.
And we've managed to capture one of our another mystery guests for you to guess today. If you're in No New Starts, say hello, mystery guest.
Hello everybody.
So if you're in No New Starts and you'd like to have a go at guessing who the mystery guest is, please respond with a comment on the post in No New Starts where I put this video. And if you are not in No New Starts, then that's fine. You can just enjoy hearing what she has to say. All right. So first of all, No New Starts has a few things happening this week. Well, one big thing happening. What are we doing, Laura?
Well, the Whip Frenzy event starts on the 9th, which is Wednesday. And we've done it once before, so this is the second time, and it's pretty much going to be the same. And the idea is we have a 24-hour period. It starts at 5 p.m. at your time zone. Whenever 5 p.m. is your time zone, that's when it starts, and it ends 5 p.m. the next day on the 10th. And the idea is to get 100 stitches into as many different whips as you can. And you get a raffle entry for every 5 whips that you complete. And so how it'll work is you make a thread for yourself in the event and start posting your whips. There'll be a word that you need to handwrite and place that word on every start picture, and we'll post that word when the event begins. And we had a lot of fun with it last time, and we just want to say there will be the raffle entry for every 5 whips, but also maybe there might be or might not be, we haven't yet decided, something for whoever gets the most. So get out there and get as many whips, 100 stitches into as many of your whips as possible, and have fun.
I'm looking forward to it, Laura, because my plan for June is to touch all the whips that I haven't yet touched this year. So I think this whip friend is going to be perfect for touching the ones that don't necessarily fit in with any other prompts. So I'm going to try and drag out whatever whips I haven't used yet that haven't fitted into a prompt or I can't see fitting into a prompt in June. And I'm going to try and whack out 100. And it is 100 minimum. If you want to do more, that's fine, but there's no points for doing more. It's 100 is the number we're looking for. And that word will come out at 5 p.m. in our first time zone, which is the New Zealand time zone. They are the most advanced people in our world. And yes, some people say, oh, that's not fair because people could stitch early and late. Well, if you want to cheat, you can. You're only cheating yourself. And realistically, everyone's got the same amount of time from when it's 5 p.m. in New Zealand to when it's 5 p.m. Pacific. So, you know, be honest, use your 24 hours. That's what it's about. Are you planning to join us for that, mystery guest?
No, I'm not, but I do have a decent idea for what I would do if I were doing that. I have a ton of full coverage whips, and I'm in the background of a lot of them, and they get really boring doing nothing but stitching background. So for challenges, I've tended to do things where I'm already in something interesting, but I think for this, just putting 100 stitches into a lot of different backgrounds would go quickly and get those projects moving along.
That's a good idea.
What are you going to do, Laura?
Well, I also have some whips that I have not touched, and I plan to do that. I don't have a whole lot of them, so when I run out of that, I think I'm just going to do whatever strikes my fancy.
That's good. Well, it should be good. So it's going to be a very, very switcherooning kind of day on the 9th.
Yep.
That's okay. All right. Well, the next thing we've got is Semisane has got a 1 day in the whip days coming up this week, and you don't have to work on them in the week. I just find it easier to talk about them. Red Rose Day. Did anything come to mind for you two? I've already talked about mine in the monthly. Is there anything you've got in mind to do for Red Rose Day?
That's something with a red rose in it?
It's just to celebrate Red Rose Day flowers, really. Any flower, I think, does.
One of my trucking along designs, the February one, is the borders all roses.
Cool.
And I need to get more in stitches into that one.
So you could work on that
Priscilla
on a
Blaine.
red rose. What about you, Mystery?
I don't have any rose designs. I do have a lot of different flowers, and I also have a really gorgeous fractal pattern that is pink and a whole bunch of different rose pink colors. So I think that that would be a fun one to work on.
Yeah, that sounds like some good ideas. All right, the Daily 30, which as far as I know is still a closed group, but you can play along by listening to what we have to say if you're not in it. What are we doing this week, Laura?
Well, this week's challenges is all based on coffee, which personally I love coffee, so it's going to be a fun week for me. So there's a whole lot of information in these challenges about coffee that's very interesting. They do good research, and but we're not going to go into that. So if you want to read about coffee, go read about it on the event page. But the first prompt is stitch on a whip that contains a seed or something grown from a seed.
All right, Secret, you're first.
Well, that would pretty much be most of my projects do have plants in them. So I would probably, well, I would probably pick my Good Omen stained glass because in that movie, or sorry, mini-series, plants play a major role in one of the little characteristics of one of the main characters.
Okay, cool. Well, for me, I can actually show you the one I think I'll do, because again, as I said, I want to try and touch the ones I haven't yet worked on. And this one was going to get worked on, but it never did. And I'm currently working on the gardening one up. Whoa, I lost it. That was silly. Where'd it go? Disappeared now. Share it with you and then I lose it. Yeah. The gardening one up the top, because obviously those carrot plants would be grown from a seed. So that'll give me a chance to work on that. Laura?
Okay, I think I'll double dip and do that same red rose event.
Yep.
Hold on, I just...
She can find it.
Sorry, I'm not real adept at this stuff.
It's all good.
There's January, August, September. Well, I can't find the picture, but it's just one of those trucking alongs. Priscilla Blaine with the red roses, so they would grow from seed. So never grown one from seed, but I imagine so. Okay, the next event is, the next prompt is stitch on your second largest whip. Mr. Guest?
So my second largest whip would probably be one of my Amy Stewart bookshelves. So I believe they are 999 by 714 stitches for those, for the most part. So
yeah,
I think I have 3 of them.
Are you doing supersize max color?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
So which ones are you working on? Which one do you think you'd most likely want to do?
Most likely this month I would be working on Once Upon a Fairy Tale.
All right, well, I can show you that one just in case anyone's been living under a rock for the last little while. I can fix that. All right, so Once Upon a Fairy Tale looks like this for anyone who's been living under a rock. Whereabouts are you up to in this one?
Right now I'm at about, I think, 3,500 stitches. I started in the bottom corner doing cross country, and I got really, really tired of yellow with the gold there. And so I started with another friend in the top left corner to do the blue, and we're going to just keep working down, meet in the middle, and then go across.
Well, I must say, because I started here on the third shelf just to be different, and I've been really enjoying that. And now I'm doing, I'm starting to do a bit more sort of, cross country, a lot of black actually going along here. And I think when I get to this castle, it's going to be nice to probably be able to get the whole castle sort of done before worrying about all the other bookshelves. But we'll see what I feel like. All right, for me, since I'm on here, I will be doing similar, but not the same. My stitch in time, which I am doing black extreme cross country, and I've currently done about this much black. So I'm going to continue working my way down and then across. So it is my zombie run piece, but I need to do more stitches than the zombie run. So it'd be good to slot it in. Laura?
Oh, both of those bookshelf patterns are so pretty.
They are.
I did this, and my is this one, Addie's window. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm. That's gorgeous.
Yeah, that's my second largest one.
That's good. So yeah.
Okay. The third prompt is stitch on a whip with something old in it.
What you got, Mystery?
Let's see. Well, most of my designs have something old in them. So I could continue with Once Upon a Fairy Tale, since of course fairy tales are old. I'm actually working monogamously this month on Persephone and Hades by Alexandra Bach. And of course, the myth of Persephone and Hades being from ancient Greece is not just old, but it's really old.
Well, that sounds good. Well, likewise, I could continue working on a stitch in time if I want to, but I also, and the next two prompts could the next two ones could switch around. So to me, I feel like everything in Hawk Run Hollow is old. Just looks like old-fashioned, colonial sort of buildings. So my Hawk Run Hollow, but the next prompt as well, I could switch them around, but I'll wait to the next prompt and we'll just see what happens. For you?
Well, I will stick with my trucking alongs and but I'm going to switch to a different one because it's June and do the June one. And I can find that one.
Oh,
so,
cute.
Because that truck is old. They don't make them like that anymore.
No, not with the wood at the back.
Okay. The next one is stitch using brown floss of any shade on a whip of your choice. You may use as many shades of brown floss as you need to meet your stitch count. And you can use more than one whip if needed to reach your goal. So I should have mentioned it's 300 stitches for these. No, I'm sorry. I was thinking of monthlies. This one is either 100 stitches or 200 stitches.
Right. So 100 in brown thread is not necessarily too bad.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think 200 is too bad myself, but some people do. What have you got in brown thread, Mystery?
So I have a series of Ryless kits that are done in wool, and most of them have a cat and some kind of a cabinet, so I could get some of the boring stitches in those cabinets out of the way.
You might be knocking over a lot of this boring stuff this week. That's a good plan. For me, this is why it could go either way. My Little House ABC sampler, I'm doing it all as one piece, but like that house there is brown, but I can't remember where I'm up to, which house I'm doing. So if I'm not doing a brown house, it can be something old, and my whole hollow can be something brown. But if I am doing a brown house, then the brown house would be what I'm doing.
Okay. For me, I think I'm going to do work on quilts by Long Dog, because there's a lot of brown houses and brown things in it.
Oh, that's cute.
Oh, yes. Beautiful.
So, okay. The next one is stitch on your most expensive whip. So, Mystery guess?
So my most expensive whip is probably my largest whip because it's a supersize max color and it's on 28 count easy count, and that's always a little more expensive, and it's even bigger than a bookshelf. So it's 782 stitches by 999 with 230 something odd colors. So it's the most expensive fabric, the most colors, and the largest piece that I have.
28 count, you've got the maximum amount of thread usage too.
So yeah,
2 strands and extra skeins to cover the 28 count.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. For me, as soon as I heard expensive, I jumped to this one. My chatelaine.
Oh yeah.
I feel like chatelaines are the most expensive.
Oh, gorgeous.
It is
so
gorgeous.
Pretty.
My Chinese garden mandala, and yeah, so it's not the biggest, but it is the most expensive one, I think, with all the beads and things.
Mm-hmm. Are you using silk threads and such in that one?
Yes, I did. Although I did sub out as much DMC as possible.
Well, I think my most expensive whip, I thought about this because I have one that's a Haid Max color, but I think this one actually costs more. And it's a Mirabilia, so it has a lot of bling. So it has silk threads and metallics and beads and a lot of them. And I kitted it up last year when those things were hard to find.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Cassiopeia.
Ooh, I love that one.
I'm going to have to figure out a better way to do this. I'm not seeing the picture. But anyhow, it's a Mirabilia. So pretty lady in a pretty dress with a lot of bling.
Yeah, and the bling is the expensive bit. Between the bling and the silk threads.
It all added up, and I ended up paying more than I normally would have because of COVID and having to order from like 3 different shops.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Cool.
Okay, that's it for the coffee week. Yep,
and then just your daily 30 as usual. Awesome. All right, so then the next one we've got is Supernatural Stitchers. And remember, this one's about building up your stash budget to spend at the end of the year on shopping. So if any of these prompts don't come to mind immediately, ladies, you can pass. If they do come to mind with something you're previously working on, I always try and double dip because what's the point of doing extra stitches? So I try and make them fit into the other prompts where possible. We're on season 4, episode 16 on the head of a pin. And you do have many hundreds you want. So you just do what you're normally stitching and then plonk it in. Okay, first one. Stitch on a project with an angel or heaven.
An angel or what?
Or heaven.
Or heaven.
Oh my.
Well, I feel like you could possibly be a bit flexible if it was a big night sky.
Yeah, I'd have to do a night sky, something like that.
Okay, well, night sky, I guess I'd do this one. Heaven and nature sing.
Oh, yes. And that, particularly from the name, you'd have to say that's got heaven in it.
Oh, that's true. Didn't even think about that.
So, yes, you could definitely do that one, I'd say, Laura.
Good.
Mystery, you got anything in mind?
The only thing I have would be Once Upon a Fairy Tale. Some of the scenes do have blue sky, especially in the top shelf.
Let's have a look. I feel like you could call that top shelf having heaven in it.
Possibly. It might be a bit of a stretch.
But especially the bit with the aurora, whatever.
The Aurora Borealis.
Yeah.
I do have one that has a lot of sky with Aurora Borealis in it. But it's Polar Princess, which is...
Okay, this is a bit random. But since this is what I'm actually working on at the moment, my South American angel. She's an angel. So I could use her. That would work well for me for that one. That would double dip with something else I'm doing. Okay, the next one is stitch on a project related to mourning or grief. I'm going to outright say I would pass on this prompt. I don't tend to stitch anything sad. I guess you could put something with a gravestone in it, maybe.
Huh. Yeah, I don't either.
So if I was going to do that, I guess I don't have to square. I could do it because my bottom square of my Hawk Run Hollow has got the gravestones. So I guess that would fit. As usual, we have no authority over the answers for anything other than no new starts.
Yeah, I don't have anything.
What about you, Secret?
I have a HAID called Looking for a Peaceful World, which is, in essence, a scene of mourning or grief with just a very small, brightly colored butterfly in it to break up the really horrendously depressing scene.
Well, that sounds good. All right, the next one we don't need to talk about, but the words this time is you'll get flabby. So it's the first letter of the piece, the first letter of the designer, the design company, and it's YOULGETFAB. Yeah, any of those letters. So I'm sure you can find something if you want to for that. Oh, we're not doing this. Well, we could. Kit up a new project you've been resisting, but are ready to give in and start stitching. That's a no from me.
We're for no new starts.
We're in no new starts. No from me.
I guess you could kit one up, right?
It says kit. It doesn't say you have to stitch it.
Yeah, that's what I would just kit something.
Yeah, so you could kit.
There's several I'm wanting to start when the year's over.
Yes. You have got plans for that. So there'll be an announcement coming shortly for no new starts people about what's happening. Have you been dying to start anything, mystery guest?
I have. I want to start another bookshelf.
Okay.
I'm obsessed with those. And I do have actually some fabric coming this month because I want to restart something on a different count of fabric. But I've got 2 different large pieces coming, just large enough for a bookshelf. So
you might be tempted.
Yeah.
I'm in a pass. Okay. Stitch on a project to which you've added your own flair, such as color conversion or deliberately changing the chart some way.
Okay, I would go with those, all of those trucking alongs. Priscilla did them in like 2 pieces. The name piece, here, I'll bring one up. You know, there's the February one I couldn't find earlier. See how she has a top piece here and a lower piece here? It's actually, you know, it's 2 different pieces, and I am combining them into 1 piece.
Are you combining them by just sliding them together and having like a, you know,
I'm just doing it on 1 piece of fabric, and I'm putting just 2 stitches in between.
Yes. Yeah, so you're just having 2 bordered sections in the one fabric. Lovely.
That's about as close as I get to individual flare.
Have you individualized anything, Mystery?
Yes, I have. I have Plague Doctor from Tilton Crafts, and it's got a swirl of ghosts behind the main figure in the pattern. But I decided that I wanted the ghosts not in the gray shades that it comes in, because they're kind of gray beige in the pattern. I turned them into ectoplasm green because I think a lot more fun.
Yeah, definitely. Well, this is one I should be working on this week. This is my alphabet piece, and I have changed it up in that I have changed the orientation of it. So instead of this going A, B, C, and then D, E, F across, I've actually gone all the way down the first column with A, B, C, D, E, F, G, because that to me made more sense to read the letters going all the way down, down, and down. So that's what I've done to personalize that. And I'll be working on it anyway, so that's good. All right, the next one is stitch on a project with an Oriental or Asian theme.
Well, I have to stretch on this one, but I've done it before. So what I will do is, in Japanese mythology, the fox is very important. It's called a kitsune, something like that. And it has many tails, and the more tails it has, the older and wiser it is. So I would do, again, Heaven and Nature Sing with the fox and tell the whole Japanese kitsune story.
Yeah, well, as you say, it's a stretch, but if you tell the story, you just never know. The whole point
is... Yeah, I've done it before, and it's been okay, but not in this group. So, you know, different groups are different.
They are. But hey, the point is it's you stitching. And I love having these guides to give me an idea of what to work on. Anything Oriental for you, Mystery?
I have several pieces. I have several of the Geisha by Joan Elliott. I'm also working on Uran by Haruyo Morita. And I'm also working on Ride of the Yokai. I can't remember the name of the artist off the top of my head, but the yokai are characters from Japanese mythology, and they include one of the 9-tailed kitsune. So
yeah. There you go. Linking in with Laura. All right, well, for me, this is perfect timing because I'm heading off on my Shady Trees retreat this weekend coming. And this is my retreat start that I do with Knitting at Stitchers. And we're both, she's got the girl, I've got the guy, and we're both stitching them, and then we're going to switch charts when we finish and do them as a combined piece. So this is my samurai. So I'm planning to work on him on the retreat, so it's a perfect prompt. Okay, so the next one is stitch on a project that's predominantly shades of red.
Sweetheart Hill.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's cute.
Is mine that has the most red shades.
Have you done the house?
No,
That'd
but
be, you'd be able
I
to.
have like maybe a fifth of the house.
Yeah, I was going to say that'd be a quick one to just go for 200
Yeah.
stitches.
Yeah.
Mystery?
I would probably work on Wrath, which is one of the 7 deadly sins by Marta Dalig, since that one is mostly reds and a lot of black.
And a lot of black, yes. What do you reckon about this one, ladies? Would you call that shades of red?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pink house, but the whole house is mostly pink and there's red flowers. Okay. Well, I think I would actually work on my bay window because that's good. I need to work on that one. Okay. Oh, my phone went to sleep with all that. Next one. This one's hard for me, very hard. Stitch on a project that contains at least one animal.
Okay. One animal.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I really like working on Heidi. So I think I'll do Heidi because it has a goat and it has a couple dogs.
That's at least one animal. What about you, Mystery?
Well, I would probably, I mean, I have a million cat designs. So I would double dip with one of my Rylus cat designs or possibly with Once Upon a Fairy Tale or my Peacock Days.
There you go. All right. Well, surprise, surprise. What on earth am I going to pick for something with one animal? It's exactly what you thought of, isn't it? Well, it's my zombie run. And I think this week I'll be doing a bit on my zombie run. So may as well double dip it.
Yeah, and there's one with a cat in the monthlies, right?
I think so. There you go. One animal. All right. Next one. Stitch on a piece that represents sentiment, as in like sentimental.
Well, I would go back to that Sweetheart Hill
Mm.
that I showed earlier for the red prompt because it's all about love. It says on the bottom, you belong with me. That's a sentiment.
Well, looking for a peaceful world might work. She's being very sentimental over the butterfly in the picture. Yeah, most of mine are depressing, not love.
Well, I wonder. I'm thinking a different type of sentimental. I'm looking at this and thinking, well, to me, your Christmas stocking is fairly sentimental, isn't it?
I think as long as you explain how it's sentimental to you.
Yeah, or even, if this was a toy snowman and a toy fox, they could be a kid's favorite toy, and that would be very sentimental to that child. Okay,
Yep.
could be a stretch, but that's just what came to my mind, and I thought, well, there's a different way of thinking of it. Okay. Work on a project you just don't want to stop.
I'm one of those that usually switches a lot, so that's not my normal. But I really like this animal almanac from Frosted Pumpkin. So I think that would be it.
Well, I mean, how are they going to say whether it's true or not?
Yeah. So Animal Almanac by Frosted Pumpkin. Once I started, I usually do quite a bit, more than usual for me.
Well, that sounds like it fits the bill. Now, Mystery, you do a lot of monogamous stitching. So what are you currently stitching on that you don't want to stop?
Well, right now I'm actually stitching on one I'm working on background and it's super boring right now. But one that I didn't want to stop that I was monogamous on last month was my Good Omens stained glass. It has just enough variety to keep me going, but it also has big blocks of color and not a lot of confetti, so I don't get frustrated with it either, and it just flies.
Awesome.
Oh, it's nice.
Well, for me, I was instantly thinking, what other zombie? And of course, my Once Upon a Fairy Tale. This is my birthday, Sal. It's a piece I've waited a long time to start, and I really, really need to fix the picture I've got in this album. But anyway, you get the idea of it. That would be definitely be my one. All right, stitch on a project with metallic threads. As in, it uses metallics. You don't have to stitch in the metallics.
Well, I think, double dip with that most expensive whip. Now that I've kind of got the hang, let me see if I can find it. Now, I may not have uploaded that one to my album on my computer. Anyhow, it's Cassiopeia, because she would work for that prompt.
Mm-hmm. She would. What about you, Mystery?
I would, again, work on Good Omens stained glass. There are panels of DMC light effects in the feathers of the demon and the angel.
Cool. I found more
Oh.
angels.
I found Cassiopeia.
Okay, we'll show her in a minute. So the angels there, there's a lot of metallic in this Mirabilia.
Oh, yeah.
Of metallic.
Yeah,
It
I've
looks
looked
like
at that
such
one.
a quick and easy pattern, but then when you actually look at the pattern, it's a lot harder than you think. Show us Cassiopeia.
Okay, most expensive and metallic threads. There she is.
Oh, well.
She's so beautiful.
Awesome.
She's fun.
And the last one is the piece that you are closest to a finish.
Okay. That's, I think, my Thomas the Turkey by Not Forgotten Farms. There he is. I really just have his head and a little bit of border.
It's almost done. What about the Mystery? Anything almost done for you?
Yes. I've had Magnificent Wizard, which is one of the Dimensions Gold Collection, and the stitching is done. I've got about 2/3 of the back stitch left to do, and it's been at that point for about 2 years now because I really just don't like back stitch. So probably one good weekend,
Yeah,
and it's
just
done.
do it. Do it while you've got time. Okay, well, this is another one of my ones that needs to be worked on, and it's Paddock Land Designs from the Year Down Under series, August. And I'm like halfway through the shed and I've done all the sheep, and like August is quick and easy to stitch. So I think I probably can get a finish on that if I actually do a bit of work on it. All right. Now, is there anything else happening in your stitching lives this week that we should talk about? Any other groups doing anything exciting?
Not that I know of.
Laura, what about you? I think that I'm doing some exciting things with the Survival of the Stitchiest, sending us.
Oh, yeah.
We're doing that. We're actually meant to be hiking today. They send us like pop-up events twice a week. It's like, oh, never get time to stop. It's a very, very busy group.
It's dangerous.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's dangerous. And we're going for a hike today, and we've got to track down which way we're going to do and make decisions. So we've already done, a first decision was the team decided they wanted to go, had a choice of going up the path or down. So they've chosen to go up. And when we get up the path, we're then going to have another choice. But wherever we go, we know we're going to run into something dangerous. It's just a matter of how dangerous the something is. And they've classified the levels as easy, hard, very hard, and extremely hard, or similar words to that effect. So like, it's not like easy, medium, hard, and super hard. It's like easy, hard, very hard, and then insanely hard.
You're going to die hard. Yeah.
So I really don't, I hope we don't end up at the insanely hard. You got to sort of think about, well, what sort of animal or creature might live in a particular type of environment. So personally, I feel like if you go right up the top of the mountain, you might get a yeti. I don't want to meet.
Oh, gosh, hope not.
If you're down the bottom near the river, you might just read a crocodile. I don't know, but you know what I mean? It's like, it's not necessarily likely to be too dangerous, the river.
Maybe there's a troll under the bridge.
Yeah, I don't know.
And
I mean, we've got a couple of slingshots and some stuff to throw at them, so that's good. So that's lots of fun. In city life, we've just fed our first busload of tourists, and so we're madly cooking away. And in Pirates, we are going on a journey, just following a treasure map. And at the moment, we're having fun exploring a forest and getting lots of loot by rolling dice, stitching and rolling dice. It costs us 500 stitches per dice roll. So we're getting all sorts of cool things there, some doubloons, some rum, some, I think we got a slingshot, we found some rocks. So yeah.
That one's very new, but it seems to have a lot of fun potential.
It does. It is very new, but it started up well. And as usual, those groups, as far as I know, are taking new members. So check them out. There is a link on last week's homework video for them. For the Pirates, because it's really new. So I might put a link on the Pirates one on this video. So mystery guest, if you're wanting something fun to do, there's lots of things out there you could join in.
Sounds like
and
fun.
those last two groups you can stitch on anything
you want.
Don't have no prompts. Yeah.
But they are team-based play with a team things. So they're not the sort of thing to do if you don't do any stitching at all.
Oh. I stitch a lot, but being monogamous, sometimes it's a little hard to make your project fit prompts. So
that's what we like about these ones. You can stitch on anything you like.
Yeah. Being consistent stitcher is important on those kind of groups because it's a team effort.
And even if you're only a consistent stitcher with 200 a day, it's fine because your team know, right, this person can do this much, we'll give them this job, and someone else does stupid amounts of stitching, well, we'll give them that job. So
right.
Be interesting to see.
And lots of people do more on the weekends.
Yeah,
definitely. All right, well, thank you for joining us. Appreciate the time you've given. Thank you for watching us, people. We do appreciate you coming back week after week. And again, if there's anything in particular you're wanting to know about, then ask away. We'll answer if we can. I got one question last week asking me how someone else was going because I hadn't seen them for a while. I'm not in contact with everyone, so I don't know how people are going, but more about groups, particular questions about groups or prompts or how to stitch, those sorts of questions that would be helpful. All right, we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.